everybody. How you doing? Woo! Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers post-game show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Between having no voice this week and the mask, I can't imagine what that woo sounded like.
It sounded great.
But another win for the Flyers. 3 in a row, points in 5 straight. They've won 4 of those 5. And Hinkle, for you tonight, just for you,
just for me,
a regulation win.
That's
the rarest of occurrences for this team.
Seriously, a 60-minute hockey game.
Yeah,
what a time to be alive.
Their 8th win of the season, only the 4th in regulation.
That's just, I mean,
3 shootout wins, 1 overtime win, and 4 regulation wins for the Flyers
there we go.
This season. And this was a hell of an effort all around for this team. I'm Bill Matz, by the way, your director of fun and games. That's Kelly Hinkle from Broad Street Hockey. I don't remember if I did that or not.
You didn't, it's fine. They know us.
So now we have some interesting symmetry going on, Kelly. That's what I want to start with. A lot of individual performances, but the team as a whole.
Yeah.
Last year through 18 games, 10-7-1. Game number 18 was the 5th of a 5-game winning streak.
Okay.
Now, they're a little behind that pace right now through 18. They're 8-8-2, so they are hockey 500. But again, they've won 3 straight, 4 or 5, points in all 5. I know, like, the San Jose game was a little bit of a step back just in terms of process.
Yeah.
No, the San Jose game was fine for the most part. What was the last game that they won and shouldn't? Ottawa. I just blanked on that.
No business winning that
like
game,
the Ottawa game, that was a step back in terms of process. Like San Jose, they blew a 3-goal lead, but they were great for like 47 minutes of that game. Are you looking now and thinking, yeah, it's kind of the team from last year, plus a supercharged rookie in Matvei Michkov?
You know what's weird? I just remember, and of course that statement is meaningless because my brain is squeaky.
I couldn't remember what happened on Thursday.
Yeah, but I remember like feeling good at the beginning of last season. And this season, I have not felt that good. And I don't really know why. What's my problem? I think it's a me problem.
It could be. I don't
know if it's the Flyers. However,
I think we were just encouraged that the games were watchable last season because we were expecting them to be a bottom 5 team. And it's like, well, listen, could have been nice to get a top 5 pick. But
that's true.
If you're going to watch all 82 games, you don't want it to be torture.
No.
And when they came out and they weren't great right away, they were okay. And it was really after the San Jose loss last year where they were like, okay, we're all going to lose our jobs now. And they turned it around through basically February. But now here they are getting hot at kind of the same time again. I gotta give it to this team because they have looked to start this year a few weeks ago as bad as you can look.
Real bad.
And they're starting to get something going. They're starting to look like themselves. There's still some guys, Owen Tippett, you want to see get going a little more. Didn't get a ton of ice time tonight.
Just
but
missing an empty net is just peak Owen Tippett this season. Honestly.
The struggles of the Flyers versus open nets this year continues.
That's remarkable.
TK eventually eventually iced it with the ENG, but it was not for lack of trying for this team tonight against that empty net. But I'm impressed with the way they played. Listen, it's not as if Buffalo is a cup contender, but they've been on a nice little winning streak coming in. They seem to be getting things together. They're missing a couple of guys, but the Flyers don't even have a couple of guys.
That guy.
They have Michkov, they have Konecny, they have Sanheim, and then a whole bunch of dudes that the national media would be like, oh, I think I know who he is.
Yeah, maybe.
Sean Couturier, I voted for him for Selke 5 years ago.
Right.
That's kind of who they are, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. It was a shame that I didn't say the words. I did not say shutout this time. I did. I think it was when Ayerson got a shutout. I said shutout, and he still closed it out. But in the third period, Buffalo, halfway through the period? Yeah, 10:06, breaks the shutout to make it 4-1. They get another one about 9 minutes later to make it 4-2. But overall, we get a really strong performance from Ivan Fedotov.
Really strong.
Stops 23 of 25 for the win.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, a guy who was looking for his first career win a couple days ago has 3 of them.
I asked you during the game, sort of jokingly, is Ivan Fedotov fixed? But really, is he fixed? Because he doesn't look as bajiggity. Like he's still a little. There's still some moments where you're like, bro, where are you going? What are you doing? But not nearly as much as before. And he doesn't seem to be doing weird things like standing on his tippy toes to look over guys. Like he seems to be like settling in to being an NHL goaltender, and he looks a lot better.
I feel like I'm watching him catch himself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he's skating, and I'm like, whoa, where are you going? And then all of a sudden he's back.
Right.
Like it was good to see from Fedotov tonight. So got to do some quick math here. So after I know this is going to be really, really tough for me. I didn't finish this part of the outline before we got started. So 25 shots. So that gives them he's faced 85 shots in his last 3 games, and he has stopped 55 plus 23. Oh man. We are so good at this.
So yeah, I love math.
Yeah. Anyway, he had a 917 in his previous 2 games.
That's good.
And he had another good game tonight. I totally forgot like what I was even trying to solve there. But he comes away tonight with the win. Shut out for 50 minutes, basically. Has a 920 save percentage in this game. So
like
basically it's what it was. He performs to the way he's been performing the last couple of nights. You asked, like, you're being facetious. Is he fixed? But he's figuring it out. He's figuring it out.
I mean, like the version of Ivan Fedotov we saw tonight is an extremely capable NHL backup goaltender. Like he's just what we need. Just good enough for Sam Ersson to take a night off every now and again. And 2 weeks ago, you could not say that about Ivan Fedotov. In fact, it might have been 2 weeks ago that we were talking about perhaps it's time to send him down to the AHL to get some reps in because he looks like crap.
Figure out a way to send him down because who the hell's going to claim him? And now it's like, ride it out, I guess.
Yeah, now I'm like, all right, he can be a backup.
We talked about Kolosov potentially getting the game Monday against Colorado.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe not.
Especially given the Kevin Kurz thing of, oh, yeah, he's going back. Like, I realize this is 3 games, but it is 3 games in which he stopped 78 of 85 for a 918 save percentage.
I mean, traditionally, you don't take a guy out when he's playing like this.
Yeah.
You let him ride it.
You don't go to your number 3, typically.
No, not usually.
It is so funny how these things can go, though. Like,
it
was dumb. Kolosov. We are giving Kolosov a look, and then he gets a little banged up in morning skate.
And
then suddenly it's Fedotov, and he at least is much better than he was. If he's not figuring it out, he's at least 200% better than he was a couple of weeks ago.
That checks out, that math. I mean, like, I know I haven't been here a while, but I'm fairly sure that the last show I was on, we were talking about how, like, maybe Kolosov should be the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I'm like, I don't need him.
The conversation was basically, I don't know if either of them are NHL ready.
Right.
But Kolosov I feel like the team might have a little more confidence in him because he looks normal.
Yeah, right.
And now it's like, I don't know if I want to get away from. It's very funny how these things can change. Even in a long season, a short sample size can fill us with all sorts of confidence. But I'm more than accepting of what we're getting out of Ivan Fedotov right now.
He was legitimately good tonight. Like, it wasn't like a fluky shutout that he was riding for most of that game. Like, it was a well-earned almost shutout. He looked really good. And it was weird because, like, I expect him at some point to do something insane.
Yes.
And it seems like these last couple of games he hasn't. Like, he's kind of, like you said, like, he's, I guess, maybe thinking through his movements a little bit more and not just doing crazy floppy stuff all over the place.
And that's, there's a turnover in the middle of the ice tonight. There's a good chance right in front of him, 1-0 again. And instead of doing something, moving too much, he just challenges him. He's up high, makes himself big.
Just was big.
Swallows it up.
Yeah.
Like, I can't ask for much more out of he doesn't qualify as a rookie. But he's a rookie.
Technically.
Like he's too old, but it's his first year in the NHL.
Yeah.
I can't ask for much more out of that, especially from a guy, like you said, we were looking to drop last time you were here.
No, I'm very pleased with what we've seen out of him the last couple of games. Very pleased.
Yeah, and I'm pleased what I'm seeing with the team overall in front of him. I do think the conversation with the guys in front of him, I can't believe this is where I am in life. You live
around
long enough to see yourself become the villain. Travis Sanheim is freaking good, man.
He's real good.
Tonight, some light work for Sanheim tonight. It's funny. He came in to the third with like 16 minutes of ice time, and the ice time was pretty evenly distributed.
Yeah.
And it's, all right, we're going to get some other guys some time. We can back him off a little bit. 27-38 for Sanheim.
Well, towards the end of the game, he was out there for nearly 4 minutes.
He had...
At once.
I think he played the entire second half of the third period. I just want to see his shift chart for the third period, if I can find it. Yes, Sanheim played... He had a 3-minute and 51-second shift. And that was... I mean... He comes off with a minute 56 left on that one. He's back out there with a minute 5 left. Back out there with a minute 22 left. He was off for 30 seconds. Off with a minute 5. Back on with 52 seconds left. Comes off again with 18 seconds left when they score the empty netter.
I mean, another thing I jokingly asked you is why John Tortorella is trying to kill Travis Sanheim, but he seems to be handling it just fine.
He really does. That's time on ice tonight. 7 minutes in the first. 9-12 in the second, so almost half the period.
Yeah.
And third period, 11-26.
That's wild. He might as well just
11 and a half minutes in just the third period.
That's crazy.
For comparison's sake, 11 and a half minutes in the third period. Erik Johnson, 12:51 total.
Well, he's an old man.
And it's not as if he's just giving you minutes right now.
No.
He is scoring and doing it quite well. 2 points tonight. Gets the goal on a shift in which he could have scored on any of his 3 shots. And that came
a heck of a shift.
Came a couple of shifts after he missed an open net on a cross ice pass. He comes out and scores, and then he makes a block right in front of the net, sends an outlet pass to Michkov, gets the secondary assist on the Michkov to TK 2-0 goal.
Oh, how?
He's been awesome. 5 shots on goal, 4 blocks. It's really, really hard to argue with much Travis Sanheim is doing right now. He looks damn good.
He is legitimately
is he
a number 1 defenseman.
I just keep saying to myself, oh man, when they get a top pair, like they'll get a true number 1 guy to put with Cam York, and then he'll be a second pair defenseman and he'll be awesome. Is he a number 1 defense? I mean,
sometimes I think
he's not a superstar. He's not that.
But there's not that many superstar defensemen.
There's the Makars, the Hugheses, the Roman Yossis. There's those guys, and then he's in that next tier, right? I can't say he's not a top pair defenseman at this point.
Oh no, he definitely is.
He's been playing like it. I never thought I would get here. I didn't know I had this in me, but I
always believed in you.
I was so skeptical for so long.
I know.
I thought his ceiling was, him and Phil Myers together. That's a great second pair. That's what I thought.
We really did.
Like he was
Phil Myers
different, but the same as Coburn.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, yes, man, you put him with the right partner, and that second pair is going to kick some ass.
Yeah.
He's more than that right now.
He is more than that.
Listen, I still want a defenseman better than him.
Sure.
But that's like going to be an awesome player.
So Charlie tweeted during the game, I think it was after the Sanheim goal, that he seems to credit John Tortorella being mean to Travis Sanheim for turning him into this player. And part of me wants to slap Charlie for tweeting it. And another part of me is like, is he right?
The thing,
I don't know.
I'll tell you, because I just mentioned Phil Myers and what that pair was for 1 year. For 1 year, it looked like it was going to be something. I always wanted some of Myers' meanness, and he was dumb sometimes. That's like
he was real dumb. That's why he's not in the NHL.
His meanness, I just needed some of it to rub off on Sanheim.
Yeah,
and perhaps. Like we joke around about how Morgan Frost, he had that meeting in last January. He went in and took his shirt off and yelled at him, challenged Torts to a fight. Yeah, whatever the hell happened that
wrestled.
Day. And finally, Torts was like, "You're a man now."
Yeah.
Like, Torts is here to turn boys into men, and perhaps he and Brad Shaw have done that with Travis Sanheim.
I mean,
also, like he's a grown man now. Like that's also part of it. He's not a little kid anymore.
I mean, this is one of those things that like none of us can prove if it is true or not true.
You can't
so
prove
we just get to argue it forever.
But it's what he.
But
whether it was always going to
happen.
John Tortorella is here to do it, and here's an example.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be the way you hear about Vinny LeCavalier, and those two hated each other.
Yeah.
And now, like, if Vinny has like a life decision, he calls Torts to talk it over. Like maybe that's what we're going to have with Travis Sanheim. I'm not saying Sanheim's going to the Hall of Fame or anything, but just like maybe that relationship grew from like the scratching in Calgary and all that. And now he gets the big picture and maybe Torts understands him a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's when I asked, when we asked Charlie about Travis Sanheim, my question is, you remember when we traded him?
Yeah, we sure did.
Like, thank you, Torrey Krug.
Thank you, Kevin Hayes.
Like Torrey Krug exercising his no trade clause and turning that blockbuster trade into Kevin Hayes with retained salary for I don't even know what anymore. No memory of it. But it was like a first-round pick coming back our way. Sanheim going to St. Louis. Krug coming back our way.
When I read the trade, I was like, oh, shit.
It was like a big
trade.
deal.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, it's like a Kevin Hayes salary dump. Thank you, Torrey Krug.
No,
you gave us. This is the only reason we still have Travis Sanheim.
Didn't Kevin Hayes talk him out of it? Wasn't that like the story at the time?
Is that what it was?
I think it was.
Hayes
was like, "Don't come
here. Don't come to Philly.
The coach is mean.
He's a maniac."
And that's why he didn't wait.
Is that what it was? I don't remember.
I believe that's what was being told.
All right. Before we go on with today's postgame show, following a 5-2 Flyers win at home against the Sabres in regulation. Let's talk about Empire Today, baby. 1-800-588-2300 Empire. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today, I've been telling you for months now, maybe a year, that they are the best place to get new flooring. There's a reason you love that jingle, because you know it. You know that they're the place to get new flooring. But you're going to see the prices of some of the copycat competitors and go, ooh, man, that's pretty cheap. Exactly. Cheap is the key word. They're putting flooring in your home they wouldn't put in their own. The Empire philosophy, it's not to overwhelm you with a bunch of substitutes and choices. They want to get the absolute best. That's why their product team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles, and you can see them with the virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. Just snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHLY. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHLY for details. And while we're here, man, it's that time of year. You've probably been hearing me these last few days. Like, this isn't the most pleasant listening experience. You got to get the Rite Aid for all your cold and flu season needs. And now you can go to Rite Aid for your pneumonia vaccine. That's like pneumonia. Yeah, that's right. Help protect yourself from pneumonia. Adults aged 50 and older are now eligible for the vaccine. It used to be 65 or older, but the CDC lowered the age recommendation to 50 plus. Millions of people get pneumonia every year. It's a respiratory illness, and fall and winter are a time when germs that cause respiratory disease typically spread more in the community. So now is the time to get vaccinated and help yourself stay healthy. Some people who get pneumonia just have mild symptoms. Others, man, it can be really serious. There can be complications. The vaccine is one of the best ways to keep yourself healthy, and it's usually no cost with insurance. So check that out. Get vaccinated. Getting vaccinated is easy. Just walk into your local Rite Aid or schedule online at riteaid.com. Unsure what vaccines you may need? Just ask your pharmacist for a personal recommendation. Stop by your local Rite Aid today. Yeah, the Travis Sanheim thing it's really wild to see where he's come in the last 2 years.
Third most improved trophy? Could this be the year?
You know, a lot of our early candidates
are not
again,
improved.
It's only game 18. They got a lot left.
That's true, yeah.
there's a lot of room for improvement for guys like Tyson Forster, Bobby Brink, but
Owen Tippett.
man, they were the dudes, and maybe it's like Emile Andre because he played 4 games. Can you really I don't know.
I don't know either.
Who would I just looking at
Check
this
in
roster?
Game 50. See where
Maybe
we are.
Risto. Risto's 30 years old. You can't give him the most improved trophy, right?
Hard disagree.
Richard wasn't here, so you
Ageless
can't
award.
actually say
That's
like
true.
he's improved.
You can't get it.
Noah Cates has been good, but it's not like he's going to have any stats to be
don't
like,
think he's
oh, I'm
better
the
than
most
last year.
improved.
No.
Maybe Sean Couturier. It might have to be Travis Sanheim for a 3rd time, the most improved player
Place your bets.
on the team. But the other half of the Travii,
Yes, small Travii.
pretty damn good as well, Kelly. 2 goals and an assist tonight. He led all forwards in ice time. 12 points in the last 6 games. Now, I really struggled with the save percentage stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's 2 points a game.
That is 2 points a game. Can confirm.
22 points in 18 games this season.
That's more than 1 point in a game.
It certainly is. I know, we even talked pregame. There was consternation about the idea of extending a Travis Konecny. But at this moment right now, he's living up to it.
How could you be mad about that contract right now? If you're mad about that contract right now, you're sick. I want you to go to Rite Aid, get some medicine.
You might have pneumonia. It does affect your thinking. I had it a few years ago. It was a tough time.
He is 100% living up to the paycheck.
Yes.
And 100% proving why, as you said in pregame, you can't develop talent without talent around them. And Travis Konecny is kind of like filling the Claude Giroux role as the older guy that's just good all the time, and you can just depend on him to be good all the time. And so you have this guy that these young guys can watch and just emulate because he's good all the time. He's always moving. He's scoring goals. He's chirping. He's hitting guys in the corner. He's awesome. I just really struggle to understand how you could not love having this dude on your team.
He scores a goal tonight on the 2-on-0. Michkov gets bumped after the play. And he's over there ready to scrap right away.
I will not be celebrating.
No problem whatsoever. It's again, these dudes who we have this, maybe I just have this thought of Sanheim and Konecny in my head as well, they're the next wave. They're the young guys.
No, they're
and
old.
now they are legitimate leaders on this team by example and in the locker room.
Yeah.
It is really good to see that part starting to come around. So I guess we have to credit Ron with those draft picks now.
It's silly to pretend that Ron did 0 good things.
Yeah.
Those were good picks.
Yeah.
Ron,
and
thank you for your
speaking
service.
of the contracts for both the Travii, you told me tonight, and I just saw it, Elliot Friedman has it pinned on his Twitter, 2025-26 salary cap is scheduled to be about $92.5 million, but there are going to be conversations about taking it higher and getting deals done with guys before this thing goes to 97 million. They're going to look like bargains. That's
exactly.
a thing we talked about in the mailbag yesterday with the Sanheim contract.
Yep.
Didn't love it at the time. The thought process still baffles me.
Yep.
But it's going to end up being good. It's good right now.
Yeah. This is one of those times where it's I am absolutely loving being wrong. Like you, I didn't want to sign Travis Konecny. I thought it was a bad idea because, timeline, contract length, back half, money, whatever. But right now, no, it was good that they signed him. It's really good that he's on this team. And same with Travis Sanheim. I thought that contract was bonkers. And 3 weeks ago, if you had asked me, I'd be it's not a great contract. Now I'm I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
We got a pretty good defenseman.
It's really hard to argue
for a long time.
with his last season and now what he's doing in the first 18 games of this season. We are contractually obligated now to discuss Matvei Michkov. I have to say, I have to say his name enough times for the algorithm to pick it up. I think that's how we make money on YouTube.
That makes sense.
It's just by saying Matvei Michkov over and over again.
Michkov.
Couple of assists in the second period.
Dude, I just can't. That pass was just...
The secondary assist, it's like on the Zamula goal, it's like,
Cool.
I guess he got the puck over to Richard.
Yeah.
Richard did all the work coming into the zone and around it and getting the puck out to Zamula.
Yes.
And somehow that puck ends up in the back of the net.
That was just pure luck for Zamula.
But then the primary assist on the 2-on-0 goal, he sees Sanheim block the shot. He takes off. Sanheim finds him with the outlet pass. Michkov is gone, but he looks over his shoulder and he saw Konecny coming.
Yep.
And he slowed his pace, which always messes with the goalie.
Yep.
Doesn't just dish it over right away.
Fakes.
Waits, fakes, then gets it over to TK, and TK buries it.
Just.
5th multi-point game of the season in 16 games. That's pretty good.
Point per game.
He's missed 2. So, yeah, this was his 16th game. He's on a 3-game point streak. He actually has points in the last 4 he has played, but the way the NHL recognizes streaks, it's team games.
Yeah.
So he has a 3-game point streak.
Cool.
He's throwing the body a little bit, too. He had a hit on Owen Power to knock him off the puck to create something.
Yes.
He had
That's a big boy.
He had a hit on the forecheck it was sturdy. He threw a nice sturdy shot.
He shoved a dude.
He's sticking up for himself. He's sticking up for his teammates in scrums. Obviously, we've seen all year, if anything happens to Matvei, the teams, we don't care.
No.
Kill him.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. We don't.
What's happening? I don't know.
Spear him. Who cares? Do anything.
We won't be celebrating a goal. We won't
yes.
be playing defense. We won't be paying attention to anything. We will simply be destroying whoever touched our son.
And his teammates seem to appreciate the offense he brings to this team. And I like little things like we saw in the preseason where Owen Tippett in that 2-on-0 or a 2-on-1. Mm-hmm. It's like Tippett in an odd man rush. What's he doing? Shooting. And he got one over to Tippett, or he got one over to Michkov to try to get him a goal. He's like, yeah, man, I'm looking for him. I want to get him his first one. Yeah. I like that Mish, he's going to score plenty of goals. It's not like he's going to lack for any goals. But I like that he slowed up, saw TK, and was like, this might be the best chance to put it in.
He looks a lot for other guys. Like, sometimes I'm like, no, dude, just take the shot. You're better than all these guys. But I do feel like he's looking out for teammates a lot, and he knows when, like in that situation, a lot of guys I think would have taken that shot, and it probably would have been a fine shot, and he might have scored on it. But what he did was better, and I feel like he knew it. Like as soon as he got that outlet pass, and he glanced over and saw Konecny, he knew what he was doing, and he knew it was going to be better. He's just so quick to think of these things. In a way that I'm not used to.
When Charlie said that's the thing we're super not used to.
Yeah.
Is just having a guy with this sort of offensive acumen.
Right.
Travis Konecny is really, really good. But he kind of does one thing, you know? Yeah. He scores goals on the rush by putting the puck under the goalie's glove. That's something he's really good at. Mish is when Charlie said he is a genius level offensive player, I was like, I wonder what that actually looks like. Because we've seen the highlights and stuff from Russia, but I don't know who these goalies are. I don't know who these defensemen are. His teammates are just guys who exist in the league so that SKA and CSKA can beat up on them. Right. And now you see it. It's in the NHL he's doing this. And the best news, at least for the next 5 minutes, is... Oh, okay, yeah. The Stars just added a third goal, or Minnesota. Oh no, Minnesota scored here to make it 2-1 with about 5 minutes left in their game against Dallas.
Stank, you have any points?
Stank has no points.
Uh-oh.
So for at least the next 5 minutes, that's right. Matvei Michkov is leading all rookies in scoring once again. He got up to 15 points tonight. Stank still at 14, pending the final 5 minutes of Dallas and Minnesota. But it's just, we've never had a Calder Trophy winner. That's
crazy, right?
This is a team that has, I realize they're not an original 6 team, but at this point,
essentially,
original expansion.
Yeah.
They've been around since 1967.
They're the 7th
That is a really long time.
Yeah.
And they've never had a Calder Trophy winner. That's insane to me. Where did... I have to look this up. I think Lindros finished 4th. I thought he was 2nd in Calder voting his year. It was Teemu Selanne. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Selanne had 76
I was
goals.
going to say Teemu had like 400 points in his rookie season.
Joe Juneau, Felix Potvin, Eric Lindros. Just 75 points.
That's a rough year to be a rookie.
That's a tough rookie season right there. Yeah. That's a tough class. And I think that's like, we haven't seen something like this. There was the original call up Shane Gostisbehere, and that was just like something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in any way, oh yeah, he's going to score at a pace of Bobby Orr. Yeah, like probably not. No. Like it was awesome, but it also, we deep down probably knew it wasn't sustainable. I don't see anything Misha's doing that's like, oh yeah, well, he's not going to be able to get away with that. Like all these side angle shots.
I was going to bring that up.
He's going to hit a higher percentage of these.
Those side angle shots are so delightful to me. Like no one does that.
No.
He's below the goal line
so regularly.
And he was like centimeters from scoring from behind the goal line again tonight. It bounced off the crossbar.
Hit the crossbar, Levi's helmet, and somehow doesn't go in the net.
Right.
That was wild.
And that's I think what Charlie was talking about with the genius is that he just in his brain has ideas that other guys just don't seem to have. Or if they have them, they're too scared to try them.
Yeah,
and he's not.
You see it a second too late. You try it, but now the stick's in the lane.
He's not a second late.
He's incredible. It's honestly, there's still so much room to get better for him.
Yes.
Like imagine what happens when he improves all those little parts of his game.
A couple more scratches.
Yeah, like just a few more, and he'll win forget the Calder. We'll be talking about the Hart Trophy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I know that they won tonight. They're back at 500, and we're like sitting here celebrating.
Whatever, but dude. We're going to enjoy good things.
There's so many good signs about what I've said all along is like some of these dudes, they lose, whatever, get a higher draft pick. But some of these dudes have to be here. It has to work. You see Sean Couturier tonight, picks up an assist on the empty net goal. He was all over the place, played 19-13. He looks like Sean Couturier.
Yeah.
And I know we were saying that last year, but I believe it a little more this time. I now can look at last year and go, it was the injury.
Yeah.
And now, listen, he just missed the game with a lower body injury, and maybe it's more maintenance, maybe it's more being precautious.
Maybe we're being a little bit more cautious after what we saw last year, which is a good thing.
And I'm just very excited about this. We also, in terms of our bets tonight, we hit our over thanks to some late scoring. It didn't look like we were going to get there, but Buffalo gets us the push. And then the Flyers score finally on that empty netter to get us to 7. So we hit our over 6. We had the Joel Farabee to record a point. He did.
Tippett.
The Owen Tippett streak. Tippett streak continues.
We're disappointed in you, Owen. We're not even mad anymore.
No goals, no points. This is maybe the most concerning thing.
Missed
one
a
shot,
wide open, empty net, no goaltender on the ice. Missed the net, buddy. Like, okay.
He's using another stick now.
I was going to say, okay, so I feel vindicated because I brought up his stick before, and he had in fact changed sticks and has now changed back to the stick that he was using last year. In a hope to get going, he needs to switch back to Travis Konecny's stick.
That's really what it comes down to.
Last year, he started scoring when he was playing with Travis Konecny's stick. Stop being silly and overthink. Like, stop galaxy braining the stick choices. Go back to the one where you're scoring goals. It was Travis Konecny's stick. It's magic, apparently.
It must be.
And so, just use that one. Just give it a try. I mean, it can't hurt. You're not scoring. You can't get negative goals.
No.
So just give it a try, maybe.
But
I'm going to ask Charlie if he can maybe just like slip him a note.
On the positive side of our scoring right wingers, one, not going so well for Owen Tippett, only one shot on goal tonight. Yeah. Last time Charlie and I did like the live show together, not a post game or anything, we talked about Tyson Forster. And yeah, the lack of scoring, like he's on like the same scoring pace he was last year at this point, basically, because he didn't score in his first 15, but he was doing so many little things right last year that he stayed in the lineup. He was getting the top 6, top 9 minutes. It was just a matter of time. Coach had all the confidence in him. This year, it just didn't look the same. He scored, I think, the first goal of the season for the team and really didn't do much after that. But he gets a goal tonight 7 shots in his last 2 games now. He's back up off the 4th line. It's really good to see.
Very nice to see him getting a goal.
Excited to see Tyson Forster starting to pick up his game, and I'm always excited to see Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat reporter. It is Charlie O'Connor coming to us live from the Wells Fargo Center. Charlie, before we get to my nonsense, I need your thoughts on the game and mood in the post-game comments.
Yeah, I think this was the Flyers, I would say, their most complete effort of the season. The article I'm writing on the game, which will be up on PHLY.com in probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, because I got through most of it. That's what's great about games like this. You could actually write during the game because you know what's going to happen. This maybe was their most normal win of the season.
Yeah.
Like they've been winning games over the past 2-3 weeks. They have been winning more games than they've lost. But every time they win, it's something weird. You know, it's either, well, they got 19 shots on goal, but they won anyway, or they somehow scored 7 goals against the Minnesota Wild, like one of the hottest teams in the league, or they win in a shootout against Andrei Vasilevsky, and also Matvei Michkov was scratched that game. Like, every game they've won, there has been some sort of nonsense. This was the first time, I think, all year where they won a game with zero nonsense. They just went out, outplayed the other team, and won the game. There was no, it wasn't like, well, yeah, you outplayed the Sharks, but you blew a 3-goal lead in the 3rd period and you had to win that in a shootout. Like, that game even had nonsense. This game had minimal nonsense. And that's really all I can say, is that finally the Flyers won a normal game. And that is very reassuring. Now, as for what I heard in the locker room, obviously the guys are real happy about the game. John Tortorella was very happy with the performance, said he felt like the team's playing in 5s again. They're playing connected. He seemed like he was very enthused that they bounced back from that showing in Ottawa, which, they won the game, but they didn't play well. And everybody knew they didn't play well, including John Tortorella. One thing that I did find really cool, and I hope you guys ask me about him later on in the segment, John Tortorella flat out was advocating for Travis Sanheim to make Team Canada for the Four Nations tournament.
Yeah.
He basically said, I hope Hockey Canada's watching, and raved about how good Travis Sanheim has become. I thought that was really cool because, look, it's not weird that a coach is advocating for his guy. It makes sense. But John Tortorella's name and his voice, it carries weight. That is going to have hockey people take notice and be like, oh, maybe I should give this Travis Sanheim a second look. Or, well, if John Tortorella, the epitome of the hard-ass NHL coach, is saying that this guy should be on the team, maybe we should take his candidacy a little bit more seriously. I thought that was really cool. It was a nice thing from Tortorella to give his player a boost, a player who truly does deserve it. Travis Sanheim has been playing fantastic hockey.
Since you mentioned him, yeah. Charlie, do you remember when they traded Travis Sanheim?
Almost.
That seems like so long ago, and now my Sanheim apology tour continues. Couple of points tonight. Little light work for him in terms of the ice time, just 27 minutes, no big deal.
Yeah, only 27 minutes.
It wasn't 30. Makes the big play on the goal on a shift where he had 3 scoring chances himself. Gets the assist when he sends Michkov with the outlet pass after blocking a shot. Has he stepped up to yet another level, or do you just see this as a continuation of what he did last year? Maybe I'm just late to acknowledge how good he's been. Is he on that next tier now? Top pair defenseman? Is that what we're looking at with Travis Sanheim? It's not just the minutes, it's actually true with his level of play.
Well, I guess to answer the first part of your question, yes, I do believe he's reached another level. This is the best I've seen him play his entire NHL career. And it's worth noting that he's had other stretches where he's played very well in the NHL. He's always been an advanced stat stalwart. He's driven play pretty much since the start of his NHL career. He had a really good year with Phil Myers in 2019, 2020. He was very good last year. So we've seen good Travis Sanheim before. This version, though, is even better than the one from last year, in my opinion. And the reason is because last year, as good as he was, and he was very, very good, especially in the first half of the year before he started to get banged up and was clearly playing through injury, it did seem a little forced in a way. It just seemed like he had in his head, they're telling me to be assertive, so every time I have the opportunity, I'm going to carry the puck up ice. I'm going to fly around with the puck. I'm going to do stuff because they want me to do stuff, and they don't think I can do stuff. Well, goddamn, I'm going to show them that I can do stuff. it was good. It was impactful, but it did feel a little bit forced. This year, nothing feels forced. Like, he isn't lugging the puck up ice maybe as much as he did last year, but he's picking his spots so much better. Like, when he activates offensively, you stand up and take notice, because it's not just that he can do it. It's that he thinks this is the right time to do it. He's a player right now who has supreme confidence in everything he's doing. And, like, it's not that he doesn't make mistakes. He's playing 27, 30 minutes a night. Like, he's going to have some turnovers, whatever. But he never seems like he dwells on it. You know, he makes a mistake, has a mediocre shift where he turns the puck over. Next shift, he's right back out there pinching and activating on the rush, things like that. Sanheim's been great. And, you know, the other part of your question about is he now a top pair defenseman? Like, this version of him absolutely is a clear-cut top pair defenseman. Like, I don't think he's a number one, but like, to me, he's very clearly a number two. Like, he could be, this version of Sanheim could be a number two on my team any day. The big thing is that can he hold it? Like, you know, if this is the Sanheim we get the entire season, then yeah, maybe he is a true top pair NHL defenseman that you can pencil. And I'm not just saying, like, yeah, last year he was a top pair defenseman. He was a top pair defenseman on a team that, if they had better defensemen, would not have been a top pair defenseman. He was a top pair defenseman by default. This version of Travis Sanheim could be a top pair defenseman on pretty much any team in hockey. And that's the leap I think he's making. We will see if he holds it. I really like Travis Sanheim. I would love to see him continue to do this, because it's a lot of fun to watch, but he still has to continue to do it. Thus far, though, you know, the guy who we've seen really since, I would say, the Cam York injury, that guy's a top pair NHL defenseman on any team in the league. Now the question is, can he keep it up?
The big pregame story is obviously Erik Johnson's 1,000th game. The boys seemed a little extra juiced tonight for this one. Do you think that maybe a little win it for EJ? You know, we see 10 shots in the first period, couple of goals, some really strong shifts, some of those dominant forechecking shifts that we haven't seen out of them much this year. Do you think maybe that had a little something to do with tonight's effort?
I don't know. Look, I'm sure they want it to play well, and they really, really like Erik Johnson. He's an extremely popular player in that room. It was very clear that they were genuinely excited that he got to his thousandth NHL game. I don't know if they needed the added boost of, well, let's win it for EJ. Like, it's not like he's dead. You know, he's still playing hockey. This isn't like a win one for the Gipper type thing. Like, yeah, maybe it gave him a little extra energy, but I don't think that was the reason. I think they just played well. I think the Flyers just, they built off of what they did on the road trip. And also kind of what they did in the San Jose game. Like, yeah, they give up that lead, but they could have won that game 7-2. Like, that game, the quality of play should have resulted in a much more lopsided score than what was ultimately the final score. They played very well. Then they go into Ottawa and they play like crap for the vast majority of the game. They somehow come up with a win because they defended well in their own zone, and Linus Ullmark was terrible. This game, back to where they looked like they were going prior to the Ottawa game. Is it possible that the Erik Johnson thing gave them a little bit of a boost? Maybe, but I feel like that's honestly selling the team short. I just think they played a really good game.
Kelly?
Oh, yes. Hello. Hi, Charlie. So the team's back to Hockey 500, and they've won 3 straight, 4-0-1 their last 5.
Stanley Cup?
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but if you're going to say it. Do you think that despite, like, the inconsistencies that have come in some of these wins, they're kind of winning despite playing like crap, like in the Ottawa game? Do you think we should be finding positives, though, in the result, despite the fact that sometimes the process hasn't looked great?
Yeah, but also I think the reason for that is because aside from the Ottawa game, I think the process has been good, at least recently. Like, the Tampa game, they played pretty well against a legitimate playoff team. Florida, they lost, but they played legitimately very well against one of the best teams in hockey. San Jose, they took them to the cleaners in terms of, you know, chance differential, shot differential, you know, just quality of play overall. And then this game, they outplayed the Sabres. I mean, did they outplay them to the tune of like a 5-2 score? Maybe, maybe not. They definitely deserve to win. And it shouldn't have been a 1-goal game. Like, they should have won by at least a couple. I think that the process of tonight's game was actually very reassuring. And I think, you know, the Ottawa game's the tough one, because it's like, well, if you're trending upwards, then how do you just not show up for the first 2 periods of that game? That said, they did find a way to win the friggin' game. And as weird as it was, they did win it. You can't erase that W from the standings just because we watched it and we know it was bad. It's still a win. So overall, I would say for the last week and a half, I think you can be very happy with the direction of their process, I would say.
Charlie, Kelly and I were talking about, like, during the game, some of the, like, after whistle, I wouldn't say abuse, but just the stuff that's been happening to Michkov here and there. Guys trying to get under his skin, trying to test him. Listen, I asked this question and I think about, like, Hatcher knocking out Crosby's teeth and, like, okay, maybe it's not abnormal, but maybe we just haven't had one of these guys in a while. Do you think he's getting a little bit more of that than other rookies? Like, being the hot shot? I don't know. It just seems like it's happening a decent amount that his teammates are coming to his defense and teams still do it.
I do think he's getting it more.
Okay.
But I don't think it's because, like, there's a target on his back because everyone goes in the game saying, I'm going to mess with the kid. I think that there are some guys that probably are doing that, like that Giovanni Smith one from 2 games ago that Johnson has to jump in to defend him. Like, yeah, that's a tough guy wanting to bully the kid. Tonight, though, like, Zach Benson does not come into this game thinking, I'm going to mess with Matvei Michkov. He messed with Matvei Michkov because Matvei Michkov did something that ticked him off. Yeah. And I think that's the reason why Matvei Michkov is getting messed with more than most young superstars do, because he plays, I think John Tortorella said it tonight, he plays with jam. He plays with some grit. And he seems to have a knack for ticking off other teams' players. So, yeah, there's going to be the tough guys who are going to try to knock him off his game by bullying him. And that's going to happen to every young fledgling superstar. Like, that's normal, and that's why, the Flyers have guys that want to jump in. But those other superstars don't necessarily have the kind of annoyance factor that it seems like Michkov has. It seems like he just has a knack for ticking off other players. And because of that, maybe he is going to deal with a little bit more abuse than the average young star, because the average young star isn't doing the things on the ice that Michkov's doing.
Remember how we said that these guys are learning from Travis Konecny?
Maybe. I really like. Travis Konecny. He doesn't seem to know a ton of English. I got to know what he's saying out there. I need him
mic'd up so bad. Like, I want to know what he's saying.
I feel like he's learned 3 words and they're all insults.
All bad. Yeah.
But we'll. That's for another day. Charlie, just one more thing before 3 stars. Couple more points for Anthony Richard tonight. He makes the whole Zamula goal happen. How can you take him
out? I don't think you can. I'm going to make this quick because the battery in my computer is dying, so I need to wrap it up or else you're going to lose me mid-sentence. But look, Richard's gotten some good luck. Like, he gets an assist on that Zamula goal, which, like, come on. The chances of that going in, very, very slim. It bounces off of Zach Benson's stick. So he's getting some good luck. However, 6 points in 5 games is 6 points in 5 games. Yep. And he's getting these points, like, yes, he's not going to keep this up, but he's getting these points because he's doing smart things. Like, he gets the assist on that Zamula goal because he has a really good high-octane controlled zone entry. Like, no, most times that's not going to result in a goal, but it's still a good, simple, smart play. It's a good play. Flyers need guys to make those kinds of plays, and so far, Richard's doing that. So, look, he's not going to keep scoring at this rate. I think even he knows he's not going to keep scoring at this rate because he pointed out that he's been getting some bounces. However, if he just keeps doing the little things that's allowing him to get these breaks, that's probably enough to keep him in the lineup, at least for now.
Charlie, rapid fire, 3 stars. Just go 1, 2, 3.
Yep. So third star, I actually had the 3-star selection in the arena tonight.
There you go.
So just going to go through the ones I picked. 3rd star, Travis Konecny. Really, 3rd star could have been a few guys. Could have been Michkov. Could have been Zamula, who actually had maybe his best game of the season. Thought he actually looked pretty good for the first time in a while. So hopefully he can build on that. But look, Travis Konecny is the driver of offense on this team. He obviously benefits from the 2-on-0 that Michkov passes the puck on. But look, Konechny's numbers this year have been fantastic. He has been scoring like crazy on a team where not a lot of guys are scoring. And he's been carrying the load. He did it again tonight. He's my 3rd star.
All right, star number 2.
Star number 2, Ivan Fedotov. Not perfect, gave up a couple goals late, doesn't get a shutout, but he looks like an NHL goalie now. I think that's really the best way to put it. Like, how good is he? I don't know. But at the very least, he's playing at a level where now I want to find out. Like, I want to find out what his actual true talent level is. Whereas those first 3 games, I didn't want to find out what it was because it looked like it was really, really bad. And now, like, I don't know. Is he an 895 save percentage goalie? Is he a 902 save percentage goalie? Is he an 890 save percentage goalie? Like, I don't know. He could be anywhere in that range, but I want to find out because he looks calm. He looks confident. Yes, he's never going to be the most, smooth goalie in the world. It's always going to look weird, which, like, he's 6'7", 6'8". Most of those goalies are like that. But he's stopping pucks. He seems like he's getting a handle on this thing. And he was good tonight. He was legitimately pretty solid tonight. Gives up 2 goals, strong all-around performance, second star of the game.
And the first star?
First star is Travis Sanheim. I thought he was fantastic in this game. He, again, gets a pretty crazy workload over 27 minutes. 5th straight game with 27 minutes or more. We can't say 28 because he was a little bit under 28. Can't say that anymore, but great performance by him. I thought he was everywhere, especially in the first half of this game. Man, he was flying. He was flying from the jump. It's just been really fun to watch Travis Sanheim this year, especially over these last few weeks since Cam York went down. He's reached an entirely new level. And as I said, now I'm just excited and intrigued to see if he can sustain it. And then, in February, March, we're talking about, not about like, man, Chuck Fletcher was dumb to sign him to that contract. We're talking about, is that cap hit a bargain? Because this version of Travis Sanheim is worth way more than $6.25 million a year.
Don't you love when Charlie says the stuff that we said before?
Yeah,
it makes me feel so smart.
I doubt Charlie listened to Friday's mailbag, but you just nailed like one of the first questions we did. All right, Chuck, I will talk to you on Monday for the Blackhawks game, and that was it. Was that
timing.
It? He died right
timing.
there. We lose Charlie O'Connor as we're saying goodbye. That is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat reporter from the Wells Fargo Center. He'll be back for postgame on Monday. And before we wrap up tonight's show, let me tell you about TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I've been telling everyone for a while now, you got to make the switch from your big bank to a credit union like TrueMark Financial. And listen, I know that sounds like a pain. I don't want to do all these extra steps. I got my direct deposit. I got bills, auto pay, all connected. That just seems like a lot. Well, at TrueMark, they make it super easy for you to make the switch because they understand how important that switch is. They know that the big bank you probably do your transacting with, it's a for-profit institution owned by shareholders who operate with the goal of making profit for themselves. While TrueMark Financial Credit Union is a not-for-profit financial co-op owned by its members, so if you live or work in Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Philadelphia County, you're eligible to join and get the outstanding service, the great rates, the lower fees, and the personalized service like advisors who provide personalized financial planning and expertise so you can learn about goal setting for long-term financial security. Check out TrueMark today. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA as an equal opportunity lender. For more information, visit trumark.com/PHLY. And before we go any further, we gotta toast the Flyers. They didn't choose chill tonight, but we can because they didn't.
So chill.
We can absolutely choose to chill after a nice 5-2 Flyers win. This team, they usually drive us nuts, and right now they're not, Kelly.
Nope.
Right now we are all smiles. And you got to celebrate times like that. So find a nice cold Coors Light. Find those Blue Mountains in the back of your fridge and enjoy a beer as cold as the Rockies because sometimes your favorite hockey team isn't on fire and you deserve to celebrate it. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Find a store near you by going to CoorsLight.com/PHLY hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I wanted to get more into Tony Dick, but we've dedicated a lot of time to him. It's so funny. We were talking tonight. Nicholas Aube-Kubel is on the other side of things. And the amount of time since we've been podcasting about the Flyers together, we have dedicated to dudes like NAK and like Taylor Lear, Cousin, like that whole group of like, I don't know, man, maybe they could be something. Just like play them over, I don't know, Chris Van de Velde.
Yeah.
Like just... And they were never anything.
They weren't anything.
And it's like, it ultimately didn't matter, but I wanted to find out the answer to that question sooner. And now we finally get a call up that works. Like, we finally got one of these guys who can just be a nice little role player. I think he played the fewest minutes out of 13:05. Only Brink and Eric Johnson played less, but 2 points.
Which is it's interesting that he played so little considering how good he looked. I'm enjoying the Tony Dick experience, but I don't want to get to at the end of the day, he is just a guy. You know what I mean? Like he's what the Flyers have so much of, which is like really, really good middle six forwards.
While that may be true,
he is fun. I'm not gonna act like he's not fun.
He is, to me, fast with some offensive upside.
He is
the exact kind of guy. John Tortorella
he
knows how to listen. That's why he's not playing him a ton, because he's not like a top 6 forward in this league.
That's a fair point.
You can use him, you can utilize him in a certain way and get the most out of him. And 6 points in 5 games, hard to argue.
It is hard to argue with it.
All right, let's hit those super chats. All right, first one from Hat Trick Patrick. Flyers were 6-3. Excuse me, 6-3-1 in their 10 before this game. They've been quietly putting it back together lately. Yeah, and a lot of those, listen, again, they are 500. They are 8-8-2. That's how you get to 18.
Yeah.
They're 8-8-2. Mm-hmm. They have 4 of their 8 wins in regulation. They have a long way to go, but they are outside of the Ottawa game, which Charlie did point out. I do love optimistic Charlie.
I know.
They found a way to win a game in which they were garbage.
In my head, I'm like, I don't know. What are we looking at here? And then Charlie's like, well, actually, they've been really good the last 2 weeks. What's your problem, Kelly? And I'm like, oh, wait.
We actually have a when Charlie throws cold water on things animation that Bryn made. Do you have that? She doesn't have it handy, but it's for that Eric Johnson question I asked, the perfect. Once we have that all set up, I want to use it liberally. Anytime I'm all excited about something and Charlie's like, well, I want to use it every time. But we'll wait to break it out.
Show on the internet.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Bryn has really made it quite fantastic. All right, let's hit Corey's super chats. Last time I felt this good after a Flyers game. Sean Walker was still on the team. Great performance from the boys.
It really was like a top to bottom win. And I don't know if we've seen one of those this season. Just like a straight out win. Considering,
because going into the third period, I did not say shutout, but I did say, well, Kelly, here's the good thing. It's 4-0. This game can't go to overtime.
He did say that. And
she just freaks out on me.
Yeah, I was like, can it? Can it? Would any of you watching have been surprised if at the end of the third period it was tied 4-4? I sure wouldn't have been.
Maybe. I mean, no, this team couldn't possibly surprise me. There's nothing left. As soon as the Sabres
scored that one, I was like, oh,
But when they get the one, there's still half the period left, and I was never nervous. This was a game in which I thought that they had it in them to win no matter what, and they did.
They did.
So, absolutely, I'm right there with you, Corey. This was a good one.
Good stuff.
All right, from Adam S. You just love to see TK pad his stats with that empty netter at the end to keep his point ownership of David Pastrnak going. What I will say about empty net goals is, like tonight, it turned a 2-goal game into a 3-goal game. I think of them like closer saves in baseball. Yeah, some of them you have a 3-run lead in the bottom of the order's coming up, and you're probably going to strike out 3 dudes. But some of them, you win the World Series like Brad Litch. Sometimes it works. It's empty net goals end games. You win now, it's over, and that's what he did. And the fact that he's on the ice in the situation tells you everything you need to know.
And it was actually very funny considering how allergic this team is to scoring empty net goals and how many they missed before he scored that one, that he seemed to very deliberately wait until he was like a foot and a half away from the net to be like, this is going in.
He was leaving no doubt.
We're not missing this one. It's going in.
If he had pulled the Ridley Gregg, because this was this was a fun, it's a little bit of a rough game. It's not like it was a brawl or anything, but there was some stuff going on. There was some penalties called, some penalties let go, some scrums. If he pulls a Ridley Gregg, this game goes nuts. If he winds up and fires it into the empty net. Absolutely. And before we go any further, we appreciate those of you watching on TV. Head over to allphly.com for more of the show. And what's more of the show? It's these last few super chats. Lyndon49 hits us up. He says, I find extra salt and pepper help with eating crow. To think I was calling for management to find a way to move Sanheim, and TK is a stud. Listen, man,
it wasn't just you, dude. It was a lot of people.
Yeah, that's the thing is I don't think outside of Charlie, and even Charlie would admit, like, no, he's not playing the way we need him to right now. Like, there weren't a ton of, Travis Sanheim's going to get this together. Like, when he was traded, we thought he was traded before the Torrey Krug no trade kicked in. There was a lot of like, yeah, okay, cool. We're getting a first. That sounds dope. I'll deal with Torrey Craig and we'll buy him out or something. Torrey Krug. Like, we'll buy him out. We'll figure it out.
Cares, yeah.
Like, yeah, it was a lot of just, he's part of that group that failed. So we're starting over. And now he's going to be the leadership group. Like, in line to be one of the first guys to get the cup after the captain.
100%.
If such an event were to unfold.
Next year.
Maybe this year. Who's to say?
Maybe this year. Because as Vince says,
why not us? I love it. I just love
why not us?
We have Vince and we have Kelly and we have optimistic Charlie. Like,
I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe we should go to Bet365 right now and get our Stanley Cup bets down.
Throw 20.
Why not?
Onto the Flyers.
To make the playoffs is probably still plus money. And finally, spiral out with the final super chat. Go Flyers, go PHLY crew, keeping the streak going. Yeah. Absolutely. Flyers keep the streak going, and that is all the time we have for you on the PHLY Flyers postgame show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Love you too, Ava. Be home in about half an hour.
Oh.
That's it. My name is Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Until Monday, let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.